Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, hey. And I didn't even do anything yet. That's great. Thank you. Just a late arrival. Thank you so much for coming. I can tell that my voice is a little funny. I'm going to fix this. Okay, that should be a little better. My name is Steve Rashid, and welcome to Live at the Whiskey Lounge. We have a nice big crowd here tonight, and I am so grateful that you all are here, not only because you are here in such great numbers, but you're such an attractive group. So thank you so much for just brightening up the space by being so good looking. We are here every Thursday. Anybody here for the first time? I see a lot of faces I don't know. Wow, that's fantastic. I love that. So thank you all. For anybody who's come back as a return visitor, thank you so much for coming back. Thanks for your constant support. And for anybody that's new here, welcome. I will take just a couple minutes and explain a little bit about what this is, what you're about to hear and see, and how this is ongoing. So we are here nearly every Thursday. I would say nearly every Thursday because we missed Thanksgiving and Christmas. But we started last March. And I will tell you, I'm a musician myself. I was actually playing on the stage downstairs a year ago, New Year's, and and this was a brand new venue. And I walked around, I saw this beautiful room, and I asked them what they were planning for this room. They hadn't actually figured it out yet. So I pitched them the idea of a live jazz series here, and they said yes. So here we are, more than a year later. And you know what? I meant to confirm this, but I believe this is the 60th show.
It is.
Is it?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. Petra says it is. My straight woman. Say what?
Pretty convincing.
I know, she was so convincing, I believed it. It's our 842nd show.
Yes.
So it's our 60th show. We're here almost every week, and every week it's a little something different. I like the idea of intimate jazz ensembles, and that's why I thought this room was so particularly good. People can get right up close. I mean, I could almost reach out and grab your drink, ma'am. We can, not anymore. I like the idea of an intimate jazz ensembles. I like the idea of duos and trios primarily, so that we have really something that's quite conversational and intimate between the musicians. And I have always felt, both as a musician and as an audience member, that when it's live music, it changes everything. You are every bit part of the performance. They may be operating all the instruments here and singing these beautiful songs, but it would be totally different if you weren't here. So please remember that you are part of this event, and we are very, very grateful for that. And we couldn't do it without you. Honestly, we couldn't do it without you. So thank you for your support, and thank you for being part of this. I should tell you a little bit about all this, what looks like superfluous technology up here. We do have a lot of microphones, and these guys, are actually cameras. We do a live recording of every show. And I have an audio rig over here. Actually tonight I'm lucky to have my two sons with me. That's Robert and Daniel over there, giving me technical assistance. So I bring a live audio rig over here. We do a live multi-track recording, much the way we would do in the recording studio, and it's available to the musician. We do it for our archival purposes, and we make it available to the musicians so that they can have it if they want to for promotional purposes. And with the cameras, we do a live stream. So you'll notice these little table cards on your tables. Please take those with you. You're welcome to take them. I made plenty of extra. On that card is my website. It's simply steverashidpresents.com. And if you go to that website, you can actually click on the live stream, and you can see this is what we're streaming right now. We're up on the web right now. So if you like the show, after the show, you can go home, go to this website, and click on previous shows and watch the show again. Or we want you here every week, of course. If you can't make it, stream from your home. And in fact, I got an email this week from somebody in Tucson, somebody I don't know, who said she wished she could be here. And I told her that we would wave to her in Tucson from here. So Daniel, could you put the audience camera on? So everybody wave to the lady in Tucson. All right. So It may have been.
I know Hallie in Tucson.
All right.
Hi, Hallie in Tucson.
So, and she's watching. So, hi, Hallie. So, where was I? I got completely off track. So, we do take these cards with you. It tells you what's coming up. June is going to be a great month. Next week we've got. I know I talked about duos and trios. Next week we have actually 5 people here, but it's still going to be duos. We're going to do a thing called Jazz Song Cycle, something we've never done before. 5 incredible musicians are going to be up here, but they're only going to be playing in duets. So they're going to be pairing up and in circles. So that's going to be really, really fun. And then later in the month, we have the great multiple Grammy Award-winning Howard Levy will be here. He'll be here the second Thursday in June. The third Thursday in June is going to be Art Davis, another fantastic trumpet player, with Dennis Luxian and Jim Cox. So that's a really, really fine trio. And then the fourth Thursday and Thursday will be. Fourth Thursday in June will be the great Judy Roberts, who's back in town. Judy Roberts with her husband, Greg Fishman. So that's June. So please come back. As you see, it's something a little different every week, and we're very proud of this series and very happy that it's being supported and embraced by this community. Now, I'm going to get out of the way and let these fine artists perform, but let me tell you just real quickly, this is Petra Van Nuis, her husband, Andy Brown, and the great Bobby Lewis on the trumpet. I'm going to turn it over to them, let them play, and with this wonderful, wonderful theme of a tribute to Peggy Lee. And you will, as the evening unfolds, if you don't already know, you will understand why that is particularly meaningful to all 3 of them this evening. And I will come back at the end of the first set. I'll come back after the last song, and we'll do a little Q&A with the musicians and find out a little bit about them and invite your questions. We really want you to be part of this. So if you have any thoughts, anything you'd like to know, any comments you'd like to make, be thinking of those during the set, and you certainly are welcome to share those when the time comes. All right, thank you so much for coming. Hi to Tucson, and thanks to these fine musicians here, and I turn it over.
Thank you to Steve Rashid for making all of this possible week after week. Blood, sweat, and tears, baby. We decided to do this tribute because there's a personal connection here. Peggy Lee is my very favorite singer, and of course she was married to guitarist Dave Barber, who was the love of her life, so there we go. And then several years ago I mentioned to Bobby Lewis here that I love Peggy Lee and she was my favorite singer, and he said, well, I played with Peggy Lee for years. And he actually had me come over to his house. It was really lovely. And he showed me all of his memorabilia, programs, and handwritten notes that she had sent him, and lyric sheets that she had written out by hand, and tune lists. It was really, really fascinating to see. And the best thing that Bobby gave me was 2 bootleg recordings that he had luckily made of some gigs they did together. And those were really special to me because kind of what Steve was saying, when you're a musician, I think that hearing someone live is the most important place to hear them. And I unfortunately never heard Peggy Lee live, so having Bobby's recordings really meant so much to me. And that brings me to the first song that we're going to do tonight. I do have a live recording that came out in 2002 of Peggy Lee's final night at Basin Street East. Bobby was not there, but this came out recently, and I guess it was hidden, unintentionally of course, in the Capitol vaults for years, and then someone recently found it, and like I said, it was released only in 2002, and to me it's the best, it's my favorite. I have almost every Peggy Lee recording, but this is my favorite, the unreleased recording of the last night of Basin Street East in 1961. So we'd like to do the opening tune from that night, and we like to open our night with that. And this tune is called Day In, Day Out. A day in, a day out. That same old hoodoo follows me about. That same old pounding in my heart whenever I think of you. And baby, I think of you. A day in and day out. A day out. A day in. I needn't tell you how my days begin when I awake I wake with a tingle. One possibility in view, that possibility of maybe seeing you. Come rain, come shine, I meet you and to me the day is fine. Then I kiss your lips and the pounding becomes the ocean's roar. 1,000 drums, can't you see that it's love? Can there be any doubt when there it is, day in and day out? Same old hoodoo follows me about. That same old pounding in my heart whenever I think of you. And baby, I think of you day in and day out, day out, day in. I needn't tell you how my days begin. When I wake with a tingle. One possibility in view, that possibility of maybe seeing you. Come rain, come shine, I meet you and to me the day is fine. Then I kiss your lips and the pounding becomes the ocean's roar. 1,000 drums, can't you see that it's love? Can there be any doubt when there it is? Yes, there it is, when there it is, day in and day out. Thank you. Thank you so much. Before we even go any further, I want Bobby to tell you why he's wearing this color shirt tonight. I guess Peggy Lee really enjoyed all tones of rose, like a peach, apricot, and rose-colored things, so Bobby dressed appropriately. And there was even a Peggy Lee rose, a rose named after Peggy Lee, believe it or not. I would like to plant those in my yard right now. They don't exist anymore? Darn. Okay. They don't have them at the Home Depot? Oh, darn. Andy's warned me because when I talk about something I love, I can't stop talking about it. But I don't want to do the whole A&E biography tonight. Don't worry, I won't completely inundate you with details. But I did want to tell you a little bit about Peggy Lee's early life, only because I find it so fascinating that she came from such humble beginnings and such troubled beginnings, and then rose to such fame and prominence, and not only that, such incredible musical ability with no actual music lessons. It's rather remarkable, just a natural talent. She was born Norma Dolores Eggstrom, so happy she changed her name, in Jamestown, North Dakota back in 1920, and she would have been 95 2 days ago, May 26th. So she was born to a very poor family, and her mother died when she was 4, and then 4 months after that, her whole family's home burned to the ground with no insurance, and her father, poor guy, was left with 6 children, no money, and made a very unwise decision in his desperation to marry a woman named Min, who turned out to be a very evil stepmother to young Norma, and unfortunately brutally abused her both physically and mentally, and had her doing chores from the age of 5 years old, starting at 5 in the morning till late at night. And with this hard beginning, her only kind of real release was music. And everyone who has been interviewed who knew her at the time said that she was always singing. She was singing while she did her chores, she was singing in school, and it was her big aspiration to be a singer, and she just loved it. It was kind of like an escape. So there was a radio station called WDAY that was the big station out of Fargo, North Dakota, the big city in North Dakota at the time, and still, I guess. And it was there that she heard the lovely Maxine Sullivan, who is also one of my favorite singers. She heard her singing "The Folks Who Live on the Hill." And this song, and the way that Maxine Sullivan delivered it in kind of a soft way with a gentle feeling, made quite an impression on young Norma, and that was one of her earlier influences. And we like to do this song that then became kind of a staple of her repertoire for the rest of her life. Later in her life, she actually recorded an album called "The Man I Love" with Frank Sinatra, believe it or not, conducting, and she recorded this song. So I'm sure when she was a young girl listening to the radio, she had no idea that one day that would be her fate, but we like to continue with this gorgeous Jerome Kern song, "The Folks Who Live on the Hill." Someday we'll build a home on a hilltop high, you and I, shiny and new, a cottage that two can fill, and we'll be pleased to be called the folks who live on the hill. Someday we may be adding a thing or two, a wing or two. We will make changes as any family will, but we will always be called the folks who live on the hill. Our veranda will command a view of meadows green, the sort of view that seems to want to be seen. And when the kids grow up and leave us, we'll sit and look at that same old view, just we two, Darby and Joan, who used to be Jack and Jill, the folks who like to be called what they have always been called, the folks who live on the hill. Will command a view of meadows green, the sort of view that seems to want to be seen. And when the kids grow up and leave us, we'll sit and look at that same old view, just we two, Darby and Joan, who used to be Jack and Jill, the folks who like to be called what they have always been called, the folks who live on the hill. Thank you. Thank you. I guess I always knew that song meant a lot to Peggy Lee, but I didn't ever, until that very moment, kind of put it together, thinking about her childhood and the fact that she really liked that song of, wow, how different that view of family life is from what she had. So that was very touching that that was such an important song to her. We would like to continue now with something that happened later in her life. Obviously, when you have a childhood like that, the first thing you do when you graduate high school is get the hell out of Dodge. So she immediately went to Fargo, the big city, and she had been playing with some college bands and getting her feet wet, playing some gigs, and decided to go right to WDAY radio station and audition. And she sang These Foolish Things for the program director, Ken Kennedy, and that afternoon he put her on the air, and he came up with the name of Peggy Lee. Norma Dolores Eggstrom obviously didn't sound very good, so that was changed in a jiffy, and it's also very interesting. That song, These Foolish Things, has significance in her early life also, because after that, she went on and got her feet wet doing some gigs in Fargo. She went to Hollywood for a while. She played in Minnesota for a while, and then eventually ended up in Chicago at the Ambassador West Hotel. And it was the song, These Foolish Things, that Benny Goodman heard her sing, and he decided to hire her for his band. He had just been given notice from the band Canary, Helen Forrest, who was like the big cheese at the time, the biggest big band singer around, that she was leaving the band. So he needed someone new and came to hear Peggy, and it was that song that convinced him, These Foolish Things, to hire her. So we are not going to continue with that song, but we are going to continue, ha ha ha, with their big hit that they had together in 1942 when Peggy was only 22 years old. The biggest hit she had with Benny Goodman's band, of course, Why Don't You Do Right? You had plenty money, yes, you know it's true. You let other women make a fool of you. Why don't you do right like some other men do? Yeah. Get out of here and get me some money too. You sitting down wondering what it's all about. You ain't got no money, they will put you out. Why don't you do right like some other men do? Bobby, get out of here, get me some money too. Lots of money. Of course, that was a huge hit, but the first performance that Peggy Lee had with Benny Goodman was not such a hit. She was only 21 years old and, had been doing some big gigs, but not really in the huge limelight like that. And then she was thrown up on stage given no rehearsal. She had to sing Helen Forrest charts and Helen Forrest's keys, and it was like, it was probably frightening. And so the first night, the reviews were actually pretty terrible. One critic called her a cold dish of tea. And another critic from Downbeat magazine, the caption was, "Sweet 16 and will never be missed." Ouch. So, it's pretty harsh. So given that reception, I guess she was pretty obviously horrified, and went to Benny Goodman and said, I'd like to quit. And then luckily he had the wherewithal and the wise musical sense to say, I won't let you. So he kept her on, and then slowly but surely her confidence did grow, and her first big chart hit was I Got It Bad, Duke Ellington's I Got It Bad. And by the way, if anyone ever listens to those early Peggy Lee recordings with Benny Goodman, it's really interesting because she was only with him for 20 months, but her style, like by the time she got to Why Don't You Do Right, it was like she had developed that. In the beginning, she was a fantastic singer, of course, but it really wasn't that style. So I love hearing those recordings because it gives us all hope. Of course, our trajectory, mine would not be only 20 months, maybe 20 years. But it gives you hope that, you can kind of evolve and change over time and work your way into the style. So we like to do her first big chart hit, I Got It Bad. Never treats me sweet and gentle the way he should. I got it bad, and that ain't good. Sentimental, not made of wood. I got it bad, and that ain't good. And when the weekend's over and Monday rolls around, I end up like I start out. I am just crying my heart out. He don't love me like I love him. Nobody could. I got it bad, and that ain't good. with good intentions tell me to save my tears. I'm glad I'm mad about him. I just can't live without him. The Lord above me, make him love me just the way he should. I got it bad. I got it bad. I got it bad. And that ain't good. Thank you. Thank you. You're such a wonderful audience. I wish we had a better act. We're soon after Peggy Lee was in Benny Goodman's band, a young, handsome guitarist joined the band, and he could play well too. And I think it was love at first sound. Peggy Lee fell in love with Benny Goodman's guitarist Dave Barber, and then Dave was unfortunately fired from the band, and Peggy left with him. After only 20 years with the Goodman band, she decided to retire. 20 months. She decided to retire and become Mrs. Dave Barber. And she quit music for a very short instant. They had a baby named Nikki, and then, of course, the calls for work kept coming in because, I mean, they were both fabulous, so everyone wanted them to record again. So Johnny Mercer had just started up Capitol Records, and he had heard some of their compositions that they wrote together and said, I'd like to record these. So finally, they relented and went back into the studio, and we'd like to do one of those compositions right now that they wrote together. I know a little bit about a lot of things, but I don't know enough about you. Just when I think you're mine, you try a different line. And baby, what can I do? I read the latest news, no buttons on these shoes. But baby, I'm confused about you. You get me in a spin, what else do I mean? 'Cause I don't know enough about you. Oh, jack of all trades and master of none. And isn't that a shame? I'm so sure that you'd be good for me if you would only play my game. You know I've been to school, I'm nobody's fool. That is to say, until I met you. I know a little bit about a lot of things, but I don't know enough about you. Yes, that was the beginning of Peggy's foray into songwriting. Throughout her life, she wrote or co-wrote almost 200 songs, which is amazing. And what fantastic lyrics. I'm a little gem in geology. Now that's cute and clever. That was their big hit in 1945. 1946, Peggy Lee was rated the #1 singer, female singer in Downbeat magazine, the magazine that only 5 years earlier had said Sweet 16 and will never be missed. So ha to all the critics that said that in the first place. So ha, exactly. That must have been some type of sweet revenge. We'd like to do another tune that Peggy and Dave wrote together. This was a really big hit in 1946 when she was on top of the world as the #1 singer in the jazz singer in the country. This is called It's a Good Day. Yes, it's a good day for singing a song, and it's a good day for moving along. Yes, it's a good day. How could anything be wrong? It's a good day from morning till night. Yes, it's a good day for shining your shoes, and it's a good day for curing the blues. Everything to gain and nothing to lose. Yes, it's a good day from morning till night. I said to the sun, good morning, sunrise, shine today. You know you gotta get going if you're gonna make a showing, and you got the right of way, 'cause it's a good day for paying your bills, and it's a good day for curing your ills. So take a deep breath, throw away the pills. It's a good day from morning till night. anything to gain, nothing to lose. It's a good day from morning till night. I said to the sun, good morning, sunrise, shine today. You know you gotta get going if you're gonna make a showing, and you got the right of way. 'Cause it's a good day for paying your bills, and it's a good day for curing your ills. So take a deep breath, throw away the pills. It's a good day from morning till night. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Peggy and Dave also had some hits on some tunes that they didn't write. We'd like to do one of those now. This is from the Marlene Dietrich flick, Golden Earrings. Victor Young wrote this beautiful music, and they had a big hit on this tune called Golden Earrings. There's a story the gypsies know is true. When your love wears golden earrings, he belongs to you. An old love story known to very few. If your love wears golden earrings, love will come to you. By the burning fire, they will glow with every coal. You will hear desire whisper low inside your soul. So be my gypsy, make love your guiding light. Let this pair of golden earrings cast their spell tonight. inside your soul. So be my gypsy, make love your guiding light, and let this pair of golden earrings cast their spell tonight, and let this pair of golden earrings cast their spell tonight, and let this pair of golden earrings cast their spell tonight. Thank you. Thank you so much. Some of my favorite, actually my very favorite, all the periods of Peggy Lee were all wonderful, all ages and all segments of her recording career, but my favorite stuff is actually what we're going to delve into next. Capitol Records put out some recordings that weren't necessarily intended for release. They weren't supposed to be commercially sold. They were just recorded for radio play. I guess back in those days they had a lot of radio they needed to fill up. So Capitol recorded what they called transcriptions, which were kind of like toss-offs, quick tunes. The artist went in there and just kind of plowed through a bunch of material without much effort because they thought that it would never really be released for sale. But these tunes actually have been compiled and released for sale nowadays, and you can buy them under the title The Capitol Transcriptions. The wonderful company Mosaic has made a nice box set of all these. And this is my favorite Peggy Lee material only because it is off the cuff. It's more what we were talking about earlier, live. It's more like something that you would hear live without much preparation, and all the stuff was recorded with small groups featuring Dave Barber on guitar, and we'd like to do one of those tunes now for you that was on the Capitol Transcriptions called Save Your Sorrow for Tomorrow, Smile a While Today. Save your sorrow for tomorrow, smile a while today. Work is plain to anyone who hums. Live today, tomorrow never comes. If you cheer up, skies will clear up, clouds will pass away. Save your sorrow for tomorrow, smile a while today. Yes, smile a while today. Thank you. Well, if that ain't a cheerful song, I don't know what is. Eventually, though, unfortunately, the sorrow did come. Peggy Lee and Dave Barber split up after only 8 years of marriage, not because they weren't madly in love. They were the love of each other's life, but I guess Dave had a pretty terrible drinking problem, so that's kind of what broke up the marriage. And then when the marriage broke up, I guess for a clean slate, Peggy decided to go to Decca Records from Capitol. She left, and she had some of her best times at Decca. Most people really loved the album Black Coffee. That was kind of her most acclaimed album. So to end this set, we're going to do 2 selections from Black Coffee, her most highly acclaimed album. The first tune is called When the World Was Young. This is a great song with Johnny Mercer lyrics, and it's about kind of a woman who has achieved everything in life, fame, fortune, men, money, everything, and still longs for a simpler time. So I can only imagine that she could relate to this. They call me coquette and mademoiselle. I must admit that I like it quite well. It's something to be the darling of all, la grande femme fatale, the belle of the ball. There's nothing as gay as life in Paris. There's no other person I'd rather be. I love what I do, and I love what I see. But where is that schoolgirl that used to be me? Ah, the apple trees, blossoms in the breeze that we walked among, lying in the hay, games we used to play while the stars were strung. Only yesterday, when the world was young. Wherever I go, they mention my name, and that in itself is some sort of fame. Come by for a drink, we're having a game. Wherever I go, they're glad that I came. The talk is quite gay, the company fine. There's laughter and lights and glamour and wine and beautiful men, and some of them mine. But often my eyes see a different shine. Ah, the apple trees, sunlit memories, where the hammock while the rounds were sung. Only last July, when the world was young. Thank you. All right. For those of you at home watching this on YouTube, turn off the channel and go to YouTube and watch Peggy Lee sing that on the Judy Garland show. It's honestly, of all the amazing clips of her online, that is the best clip, I think. So we're going to end this set with Peggy's big hit, Black Coffee, from that album, Black Coffee, which I guess if you can only buy one Peggy Lee album, I guess I would say get that one. That's ginger tea, not exactly black. I'm feeling mighty lonesome. I haven't slept a wink. I walk the floor and watch the door, and in between I drink black coffee. Love's a hand-me-down brew. I'll never know a Sunday in this weekday room. Talking to the shadows, 1 o'clock to 4, and Lord, how slow the moments go, and all I do is pour black coffee. Since the blues caught my eye, I'm hanging out on Monday, my Sunday dreams too dry. Now a man is born to go a-loving, and a woman's born to weep and fret, to stay at home and tend her oven, drown her past regrets in coffee and cigarettes. Well, I am moaning all the morning and I'm mourning all the night, and in between it's nicotine and not much heart to fight black coffee. Feeling low as the ground, it's driving me crazy, this waiting for my baby to maybe come around. nicotine and not much heart to fight. Black coffee, feeling low as the ground. It's driving me crazy, this waiting for my baby to maybe. Maybe come around. Black coffee, pour me black coffee. Black coffee, pour me black coffee.
Petra Van Nuis, Andy Brown, Bobby Lewis. I'm going to sneak back here. Let me sneak in here. Wow, you know, we've done, some may say we've done 60 shows. Some may say we've done 483. But I think this is, for me, the sweetest of any of them. They're really, really, I mean, there's something so dear about this. Not only so wonderful musically in every respect, but just the thought of all these stories about Peggy Lee and what she went through, and knowing that she was, you know, your favorite singer and also married to a guitarist, and all of that is so so powerful. When these songs come in and you start to learn more of her story, it's really, really very touching. And then they have Bobby here, who knew her quite well. Oh my God. Petra and I were talking earlier, and she said, you know, since I'm going to be introducing all these songs, when you come up here and talk, why don't you really just talk to Bobby, which I intend to do in 1 second. But before I do, let me just, so, hold on a second. So let me just, so let me just say, Andy Brown makes it look so effortless, and we know it's not. And Petra, can you just in a word explain, or briefly explain how or why Peggy is your favorite singer?
Yes. I just think that, well, just for every aspect of singing. First of all, any fantastic singer has perfect intonation, which, gosh, I don't think she ever missed a note. Do you, Bob? I don't think. Perfect intonation, the most gorgeous tone, round, warm, sexy, breathy. And then she had such a range. It was like she could either do the soft, very touching songs, or she had this kind of bluesy sound. She could sing really loud and forcefully if she wanted. And then I think the most important thing is, unlike some jazz singers, I feel like she was more of an actress, which I think was part of why I like her the best, because her feeling, it wasn't just that she was had an incredible instrument, but it was what she did with the words that I think kind of puts it, for me, over the top, and hands down, she's at the very top to me. And then I have hundreds of other people I like, but she's always at the top.
Wow. Yeah, I'm going to hand this around to Bobby now. Yeah, and you know, I didn't realize that she wrote so many songs.
I know.
I was really not aware of that. 200 songs, my gosh. Well, Bobby, you were her musical director. You were a featured soloist with her. Can you speak a little bit about? Well, first of all, how did you even get to work with her? How did that happen? And you know what? If you don't mind, these people may not need the mic, but for the people out in wherever they are in Tucson, they could use it.
Well, actually, I was playing in the band at the College Inn of the Sherman Hotel. And I think many of you remember the College Inn, and they were hiring great performers to perform there. And one of the acts we had to play, we wanted to play, was Miss Peggy Lee.
Wow.
She was always known as Miss Peggy Lee. And that was March 1969. And the band was Johnny Palmer's band, and a lot of Chicago great musicians were in the band. And Peggy came in. She had just recorded Is That All There Is?
Oh, wow.
And she had Mondell Lowe, great guitarist,
yeah.
with her. In fact, she had 3 guitar players, one from New York, one from Chicago. Jack Teagarden was one of them.
Really? I
And
didn't realize that.
5 brass, 4 saxes, piano, bass, drums, vibes, and percussion.
Wow.
That was the band. And every night after the show, there was a party in the dressing room first, and then in Peggy Lee's room second. And we had so much fun. And she played, she loved to play games.
Uh-huh.
One of them was, she said one night, let's play ha-ha. So, how do you play ha-ha?
Remember, this is going all over the world now, Bobby.
No, this is cool. This is cool.
Okay, all right.
This is very cool. She says, let's play ha-ha. So let's say, how do we do that? So she says, I'll lay on the floor. Here's Miss Peggy Lee in her gown, laying on the floor. She says, somebody put their head on my stomach, and then somebody put their head on that person's stomach, and we get a whole line going of people. And she says, I'll say ha, and the second person will say ha ha, and the third
my
person
God.
will say ha ha ha, and pretty soon everybody's laughing and laughing, and the whole room is up for grabs. So
We should play that here. Yeah, let's do it.
yeah, well,
Let's start right over here. Go ahead,
somebody
lie
lay
down
on the floor. But anyway,
You say ha.
Anyway, that 2 weeks was magical, and we had so much fun and everything. So after the 2 weeks was over, she was opening at the Waldorf Astoria in New York,
Wow.
in the Empire Room. So the trumpet section, the 3 of us, one was Johnny Howell and Art Hoyle, you
Sure.
know, and myself, decided to surprise her and go to New York and catch a show at the Empire Room of the Waldorf Astoria.
Did you drive or did you fly or how did you get there?
Kidding me? We flew.
All right.
And that's when you could drink on the airplane, you know, you get everybody confused. So we left in the afternoon, of course. We were starting to drink already.
Uh-huh.
We checked into the Waldorf, and in the lounge of the Waldorf was the movie The Out of Towners was
sure.
being filmed.
Oh, it was being filmed there?
Yeah,
Right, okay,
with
got
Jack
it.
Lemmon and Sandy Dennis.
Wow.
So that meant that Jerry Mulligan was around because he was married to Sandy Dennis.
Right.
So anyway, we were up in the room and ordered room service, and I said to Art, you better call down and we better get reservations for the second show. And he calls down and the maitre d' says, well, we only have one show and it's all sold out and it starts in 15 minutes. And Art says, but we flew in all the way from Chicago, blah, blah, blah. And maitre d' says, well, if you get down here right away, I might have a table for you. Which meant grease the palm and you
Right.
might get a table. So anyway, we heard and got down there and drinking and stuff, and oh my God. And we got down there and the table was way over in the corner, you know. So it only cost us about $50 to get that table,
Sure,
I think.
sure.
But anyway, we got in to see Peggy's show at the Waldorf Astoria. And in the audience was a whole lot of celebrities and women in gowns, men in tuxedos. One of the people in the audience in a tuxedo was Tony Bennett, who had come to see Peggy Lee because it was a big event in New York. And anyway, her show was sold out, and it was the most miraculous thing. And afterwards, we went up to her, Peggy, we came to say, oh my God, she says, you came all the way from Chicago to see me? And then the rest of it was history.
Wow.
Some of it I can't tell. But, but
So
anyway, that's how that came down.
And so then you continued to play with her and
I
after
played
that?
with her twice at the College Inn, twice at the Palmer House, once at Drury Lane, once at the Blue Max, once at Mill Run Playhouse, and the Playboy Club in Lake Geneva.
Wow.
And then I conducted for her in St. Louis in 1982 at the Westport Playhouse, and then at the Royal York Hotel in Toronto.
So she was really loyal to her players then, obviously, because
She loved the band in Chicago.
so it sounds
had
like
so
she
much-
sounds like she really liked musicians. I
Well,
really
she
liked-
always liked to hang out with the musicians. Forget about everybody else, but she had the most fun hanging out
Sure,
with musicians.
sure.
So, anyway, that's one of the great stories.
That is fantastic. Wasn't that a great?
Thank you.
So Petra said earlier that you had some of the things in her own hand that she had written and things like that.
Well,
so
we became very good friends. I used to go out to Los Angeles to hang out with guys out there. I knew a bunch of guys, and I'd call her up, and she'd say, yeah, great to see you. She said one time, she said, I'd like to see you. She said, but I'm auditioning some tunes from Lieber and Stoller. You know who Lieber and Stoller
Yeah.
They wrote Kansas City. They wrote Is That All There Is, and a whole lot of other things.
Right.
And she says, they're here, and I'm auditioning some tunes with them. She says, but why don't you come by? I said, no, I don't want to disturb anything. She says, no, just come around the back and knock on the door. You know, we'll be there. So I thought, wow, who am I? You know. So I did that and walked around the back, and she let me in, and there's her sitting there and about 4 or 5 other people, and Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller, one's at the piano, one's singing, and they're auditioning these tunes. And she says, oh, this is Bobby Lewis from Chicago. I was like, geez, they don't care who I am, you know. And finally I dismissed myself, but she did an album of Lieber and Stoller.
Huh.
It was a great album.
What album was
So
that?
maybe,
Yeah.
what's it called?
Mirrors.
Is that called Mirrors? Yeah. Anyway, I think these were the tunes that she was auditioning at the time, but
Wow.
I thought, I got to get out of here. They don't want me around. You know.
Well, how wonderful that you had such a nice personal relationship with her. For musically, why did she strike you so importantly? I mean, we know from
Well,
Petra.
actually, she said one thing to me that I still don't believe she said. She said, you're the only other person I like to have play behind me other than Dave Barber.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I said, wow.
That's pretty
I said,
huge.
that's a real high compliment, you know. But she did say that, so. But I always, when I conducted for her, I had a chance to really play a lot behind her.
Sure.
But the thing about playing behind a singer, any singer, but especially Peggy Lee, is that you never cover up her lyrics. You
Right.
play when she doesn't sing. And she loved that about me.
And that's one of the other things that strikes me throughout this whole evening is how important the lyrics are, and obviously what stories she was telling, and especially as you're indicating from her pretty tortured childhood. Some of these songs are resonating so emotionally as as we hear some of these horrible stories, and then hear these lyrics, and either kind of reflecting back on a sad time or something triumphant. It's really quite wonderful. So I understand what you're saying about wanting to stay out of the way of the lyrics, because
Right.
you were telling me something before the show about here. Let me tell you.
Well, maybe Petra's going to do that. But
Oh.
no, actually,
No secrets.
no, wait a minute. Petra's going to do this, but one thing that Peggy Lee did was she held out her hand to do this tune and started snapping her finger. And everybody knew that it was going to be Fever
But didn't you say it was a spotlight just on her hand?
on her hand.
Yeah.
So she started snapping her finger. And applause like you wouldn't believe.
I bet.
Because everybody knew that was going to be Fever.
Well,
So who can have the magic of just
Right, just
a
doing
finger
this.
snap?
I'm doing it. Nobody's clapping. No, what that speaks to me. That speaks to the nature of the theatricality of everything any of us do when we get on stage. As soon as we get it, and I say this over and over and over, and some people seem to not either agree or get it. But I think anytime someone is on stage, there is an aspect of theater to it. And,
Well, Peggy Lee was all about theater.
and there you go.
Her shows were very theatrical. And her light man and sound guy, they knew exactly what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like clockwork.
Yeah, yeah.
Conducting for her, you knew that when she was talking to the audience, right when she finished her last word is when you started the orchestra.
Uh-huh.
So you better know that
You better-
timing.
yeah, yeah. So you had to know.
It was all in timing with her.
So you had to know her stories and sort of the banter that she would have. Yes,
And
was
then
it the same night tonight?
kind
or-
of guess,
yeah.
you know, and
Yeah.
be right on it, because that's what you wanted.
Wow.
No lulls
Yeah, right. No loss.
and no questions.
Yeah, I bet. Any questions? Speaking of questions, any questions out there?
Oh,
Anybody
come on,
else?
somebody's got a question.
Sure, Petra. Oh, Miss Van Nuis.
Just, I just kind of wanted to know, I can't believe I haven't asked you this, but just her stage persona versus her personal persona. Could you elaborate, like, what the difference was, or was there much of a difference, or?
Well, she used to sing, if there was a mistake, she used to sing, I don't know just what it was, but as long as it's gone, it's all right. But she was about having fun,
Uh-huh.
you know, enjoying life and having fun, laughing. And in fact, one time she said, I have a pet fly that travels with me. And we're, about 5 of us are standing around. Yeah, right. You got a fly that travels with you all the way from LA. She said, no, really, he travels with me. So she stuck out her finger like this, and about 30 seconds later, a fly landed on her finger.
No.
No kidding. We all saw it. We all saw it. I mean,
Nah.
I still don't believe it. I got a fly that travels with me.
God. Yes.
You explain that one.
Yeah, I got nothing.
What I remember about Peggy Lee from my childhood is that she did the voices, I believe, of the Siamese cats in the
That's
Yeah,
right.
we are Siamese if we please.
of The Lady and the Tramp.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
And when they showed how the movie was made, they showed Peggy Lee singing the songs in one, in one voice, and then recording it again so that it would harmonize. So she did both the cats.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know, of course, I was a little girl. I didn't know anything about Peggy Lee really at the time, except that she was. My parents told me she was famous. Do you remember anything about that era, or what?
She never said much about that. No, I don't really know. But
Was it something she was proud of, or talked into, or what?
well, actually, I think I don't know what the film company was. Was that
It
Warner
was Disney.
Brothers?
That was Disney.
Walt Disney?
Yeah.
Lady and the Tramp.
Well, anyway, she wasn't getting reuse or the royalties from that,
Wow.
and she sued Disney.
Did she
for-
really?
Yes.
Good for her. Good for her.
And won.
Wow. Oh, good. Good. Even better. No kidding. Wow. Petra said she got something like $5,000 when to do it, and that was it.
But the royalties were quite a bit
Oh
more
my
than
gosh!
that.
Yeah. I did a little bit of just a little bit of reading up on Peggy Lee because I probably like most of you, I know about Peggy Lee, but I didn't know a lot of really details about her life. And one of the little things that I turned up was that she had sung that song. And I, in the back of my mind, I knew that, but I had completely forgotten it. And I went back and watched that clip and listened to it. It's creepy. It's really creepy, but very effective. Anybody else? Yes, Glenn.
So you mentioned her relationship with Johnny Mercer, who was a great lyricist, was great for singers. He worked with a lot of different composers, and I wonder if the guys had a preference for a particular composer that Johnny Mercer worked with, whether it was Harold Arlen or Henry Mancini or any of those that, because we like Johnny Mercer songs, but there's so many composers.
That's true.
I don't know, what was the question?
But whether
Of the Johnny Mercer canon of songs, is there a particular composer that he worked with that you might prefer?
Not really. Johnny Mercer, wrote lyrics for many many composers, and they're always all great. So it's like Oscar Hammerstein, you know. There's a lot of those lyricists, and they wrote for many different composers, but I don't really have a favorite. I mean, Johnny Mandel, of course, you know, who we're going to do a tune by.
And it also seems that the mark of a good lyricist often is that the lyrics themselves have a musicality to them, so that the music sort of almost tumbles from the lyrics. Yeah, at least that's what it seems to me. Anybody else? Well, I think these folks could use a break, and so we're going to let them go. So sure. So they're gonna take a short break and come back and do another set. It won't be another full long set like the first one. It'll be a shorter one. But please do stick around. I want to thank you so much for coming out and supporting. By the way, we know how many people this room holds now. Because 74. Because we actually tonight, for the first time, we actually had to turn some people away. So I'm sorry about that, but we filled it. We absolutely filled it to the gills. So thank you so much for coming out and supporting. And thanks to Bobby, Petra, and Andy for such a fantastic evening. Please do stick around. Thank you, Bobby. Really, thank you.
That was great, Bobby. So funny. So I guess you can't say on the mic that you were getting. He's right. Still, nevertheless, kind of crosses the line.
He got hurt.
He was just saying, it had nothing to do with Peggy Lee. He was saying, like, who is your favorite collaborator with Johnny Mercer? Because you
I don't know if I could say that.
Hasn't been enough guitar.
Folks, thanks so much for sticking around. We'll get the music started again in just a second. I wanted to take another minute and draw your attention again to these cards. I don't know if you were here at the very beginning, but again, please take these with you. You're welcome to take these cards with you. And they do have a website on the back. I encourage you to go to that website. It'll tell you a lot more information about this series. The series, or the website name is just my name, Steve Rashid Presents. SteveRashidPresents.com. If you go there, it'll give you the lineup of shows coming up. It'll give you details about what's coming up. In addition, the other thing that this website will give you is a place where you can sign up for a newsletter. I do a once a week newsletter, and the newsletter is actually just that. It's just an indication about what's coming up in the coming week, and usually on the newsletter I include something you can click on that gives you a sample of what's coming up in the next week. So if you're interested in checking out what's coming up in the next week, sign up for that newsletter. You'll get a notice, usually with some little story about the artist that's coming up, and something you can click on so you can hear a sample, so you'll know whether it's something you're interested in hearing. I'm going to turn it over again to Petra, Andy, and Bobby now, and my gosh, what a thrill it is to have them here. What a great evening, what a great concept, and so brilliantly executed, and it's so meaningful to have someone who holds Peggy Lee in such high regard, and then someone else, Bobby, of course, that knew her well and performed with her, and so take it away, you guys. And thank you for sticking around for the second set.
When I'm near you and I hear you speak my name softly in my ear, you breathe a flame. Love, when we're dancing, keep on glancing in my eyes till love's own entrancing music dies. I say that the devil is in you, and to resist you I try, but if you didn't continue, I would die, I would die. Oh, lover, please be tender, when you're tender, fears depart. Lover, I surrender to my heart. I say that the devil is in you, and to resist you I try. But if you didn't continue, I would die, I would die. Oh, lover, please be tender. When you're tender, fears depart. Lover, I surrender to my heart, to my heart, to my heart. Oh, lover. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. That is the tune Lover, the Richard Rodgers composition that Peggy Lee sang in the movie The Jazz Singer in 1953, the remake, I should say, of The Jazz Singer. One interesting tidbit about her early life is that she wrote in her autobiography that one of the highlights of her childhood was seeing the original jazz singer at the town hall in the small town that she lived in. So what a strange coincidence to then just, 33 years later be actually in the movie. So that was definitely the highlight of the movie, if you've seen the movie. And even Richard Rodgers, who was very, very strict, supposedly, about how his songs were done, he had written that as a waltz. And he, I guess, accepted her version of it. And that was one interesting thing about Peggy Lee, is she was very good at coming up with very cool arrangements. Like for that tune, she had a lot of Latin rhythms, and it was very fast-tempoed and hot and unconventional. And so for Richard Rodgers to approve is quite a feat. And that leads me to a question. Somebody asked on the break, they said, what kind of musical ability did Peggy Lee have? Was she able to read music? Did she play an instrument? And I don't really know. As far as what I have read about her, she never really had any music lessons at all. And then I asked Bobby, and he didn't really know either. But apparently she was just going mostly on instinct, which is like incredible.
Too late to ask.
Too late to ask, too late now. So the 1950s were an incredible time for Peggy Lee, probably her most productive time. I mean, she had a lot of her biggest hits during that time, and then she also had a lot of fame and success in the movies. Like that was her kind of first big movie role. She acted in movies, she wrote songs for movies. We're gonna get to the whole Walt Disney thing, but this next tune we're going to do is called Johnny Guitar, and it's from a Western movie that starred Joan Crawford. And Peggy Lee teamed up with composer Victor Young to write this really haunting tune. And if you've seen the movie, Joan Crawford plays this kind of entrepreneurial woman back in the Wild West, which is kind of interesting in and of itself. And, everything's going well for her, but she has this kind of weakness. Her one weakness, her Achilles heel is this gunslinger, or reformed gunslinger, named Johnny Guitar.
I like that guy. He's cool.
Andy Guitar. Guitar, play it again, my Johnny. Maybe you're cold, but you're so warm inside. I was always a fool for my Johnny. For the one they call Johnny Guitar. Play it again, Johnny Guitar. Whether you lie, whether you steal, I love you. Whether you're cruel, you can be kind, I know. There was never a man like my Johnny, like the one they call Johnny Guitar. Play it again, Johnny Guitar. Whether you lie, whether you steal, I love you. Whether you're cruel, you can be kind, I know. There was never a man like my Johnny, like the one they call Johnny Guitar. Like the one they call Johnny Guitar. Like the one they call Johnny Guitar. Thank you. Andy Brown. Andy Guitar. Now all you need is to carry a gun in your guitar case. Then I would be helplessly and hopelessly in love with you. As we said, that was from the movie Johnny Guitar from 1954. 1955 was a huge year for Peggy Lee. The whole Lady and the Tramp, Disney, Lady and the Tramp. She teamed up with Sonny Burke, and composer Sonny Burke, and she wrote all the lyrics, and they wrote all the music for that wonderful animated picture. And she also not only did the voice of both Siamese cats, she was also the dog Peg, kind of the show dog, and then and then she also played the part of the mother Darling in that. So. An actress and a singer and a composer. And also 1955 was a very special year because she was nominated for an Academy Award for her role in the movie Pete Kelly's Blues, which, if you haven't seen it, is a fantastic movie. It's kind of like about a speakeasy time and this band that works at this club owned by gangsters and all all the things that ensue. But Peggy Lee played the wife of or the girlfriend, I guess, of the gangster who, the gangster said, like, my girlfriend's going to sing with the band, okay? That kind of thing. So turns out it was Peggy Lee, though, so pretty good. But she was a kind of, her role was the alcoholic saloon singer, which I guess she played so convincingly that she had trouble getting work in movies after that because they thought she was truly an alcoholic saloon singer. But anyway, this is a tune that she sang in that movie. And by the way, if you haven't seen the movie, you should rent it also because Ella Fitzgerald's in the movie. And one of Andy's very favorite guitarists, George Van Epps, is in the movie. So yeah, it's a swinging band and there's so many musical numbers, so it's really fantastic. So this is called Sugar, and she sang this in the movie. Sugar, I call my baby my sugar. I never made me my sugar because my sugar is so confectionery funny. He never pleads for my money. All I can give him is honey, and that he can get any time. I would make a million trips to his lips if I were a bee, because he's sweeter than sugar candy to me. He is granulated sugar. I never cheat on my sugar because I'm too sweet on my sugar. That sugar baby of mine. that sugar baby of mine. Thank you. One more thing I'd like to share with you about that movie that just occurred to me. It's the only movie where you can see someone fall up a flight of stairs. There's a sequence where Peggy Lee's character is so drunk that she leaves the stage, and then somehow, I don't know how it was done, she literally falls up a flight of stairs. So just for that alone, see the movie and all the other wonderful things too. But we'd like to continue now with to Bobby and myself what was her most beautiful film and song collaboration. After she did that movie, Pete Kelly's Blues in 1955, she also did the whole score for Tom Thumb, the kids' movie in 1958. Then in 1959, she collaborated with Duke Ellington on An Anatomy of a Murder, and she wrote that hip tune, I'm Gonna Go Fishing, with him. And then in 1966, which is the tune we're going to do, she collaborated with Johnny Mandel and wrote to me and to Bobby the most gorgeous lyrics. This is a tune called The Shining Sea. And I know Bobby wants to tell us one little story about that. I don't know how far you are from or close you are to the mic. Could we? This is a very interesting story about this song that I have also read, but Bobby knows.
This is why I get paid so much. I do all the technical work.
There we go.
It's worth waiting for.
Well, actually, Johnny Mandel approached Peggy Lee about, he said, I've written this tune and I would like you to write some lyrics to it. And he didn't say anything other than that. I've written this tune and I would like you to write some lyrics for it. So she wrote this lyrics and called it The Shining Sea. And gave the lyrics to Johnny Mandel, and he said later to her that this was for a movie called The Russians Are Coming. The Russians Are Coming. And there's a scene in the movie where the lady and I don't know, I've never seen the movie, but anyway, where she is by the sea, and he's proposing to her, I guess, and she kisses the brown hand, and the brown hand is supposed to be Quincy Jones.
Oh, right, of course.
And anyway, Johnny Mandel was flabbergasted that she wrote these lyrics that she had no idea what she was doing or what she was writing for, and it turned out that it was just exactly what she wanted, what he wanted.
I know. I think this goes back to that fly on the finger story. I don't even think she was a real person. She was like a goddess among us. There was like some supernatural power. That's where I'm going. But okay, The Shining Sea. Here we go. Very low. Loved the shining sea. He gathered seashells there for me. His hands, I love his hands. We'd sit there on the sand. He'd kiss the hollow of my hand, his kiss. I miss his kiss. I hear the gray gulls cry. I watch them dip their their wings. I feel the pounding surf and other things. I can't believe he's gone. I think I'll go where he might be. I'll go. I need him so. I need our shining sea. We loved the shining sea. He gathered seashells there for me. His hands, I love his hands. We'd sit there on the sand. He'd kiss the hollow of my hand, his kiss. I miss his kiss. I hear the gray gulls cry. I watch them dip their wings. I feel the pounding surf and other things. I can't believe he's gone. I guess I'll go where he might be. I'll go. I need him so. I need our shining sea. Our shining sea. Our shining sea. Our shining sea. It's Bobby Lewis. Wasn't that beautiful? Bobby sounds great on everything, but a tune like that is like, that's you. That is all you. Yes. By the way, speaking of Quincy Jones, yes, Peggy Lee, after Dave Barber, was married several times and had many affairs. One with Quincy Jones, believe it or not. And luckily, Bobby never married Peggy Lee because otherwise he'd be known as Bobby Lee Lewis.
Trudy's like, that's my line. That's my line. That's
Okay,
your line.
I have to give credit where credit is due. Trudy came up with that. That's pretty smart. As we said, without much, musical training or musical education, at least from what I've read and understood, and I'm sure Bobby can attest to this, I guess Peggy Lee very much knew what she wanted to hear as for arrangements and behind her and whatnot. So she came up with a very slick arrangement, which turned out to be one of the biggest hits of her life after, she's doing all these movies, but at the same time, she had some recording hits. She went back to Capitol in 1958 after her Decca period, and her first big hit when she went back became her greatest hit ever. We all know what this is going to be. I never know how much I love you. I never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. Fever, I'm a fire. A fever, yes, I feel alright. Sun lights up the daytime, a moon lights up the night. I light up when you call my name, and you know I'm gonna treat you right. You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. Fever in the morning and fever all through the night. Everybody has got that fever, that is something that you all know. Fever isn't such a new thing, fever started long ago. Romeo loved Juliet, Juliet she felt the same. When he put his arms around her, he said, Julie, baby, you're my flame, thou giveth fever. When we kiss it, fever with that flame in you. Fever, I'm a fire, a fever, yeah, I burn forsooth. Captain Smith and Pocahontas had a very mad affair. When her daddy tried to kill him, she said, Daddy, oh, don't you dare. He gives me fever with his kisses, fever when he holds me tight. Fever, I'm his missus, and Daddy, won't you treat him right? And now you've listened to my story. Here's the point that I have made. Chicks were born to give you fever, be it Fahrenheit or centigrade. They give you fever when they kiss you. Fever, if you live, you'll learn. Fever till you sizzle. What a lovely way to burn. 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 Thank you. Thank you so much. It is hard. I thought some people were going to help me out with these snaps. Come on. Okay, good. Well, Peggy Lee was way ahead of her time, in so many respects. I mean, like we were talking about, she was kind of like one of the first singer-songwriters, but she was also way ahead of her time with incorporating Latin rhythms into jazz. She was really into Afro-Cuban rhythms, and as early 1950s, she was already kind of putting this into different pieces, and she recorded an album in 1960 called Latin a la Lee, which was her longest-running Billboard chart hit album. It ran for 59 weeks on the Billboard charts, and she took all these Broadway show tunes and infused them with Latin rhythms, and we're going to do one of those right now. This is called I Could Have Danced All Night. I could have danced all night. I could have danced all night and still have begged for more. I could have spread my wings and done 1,000 things I've never done before. I'll never know what made it so exciting. Why all at once my heart took flight. I only know when he began to dance with me. I could have danced, danced, danced all night. My heart to fly. Thank you so much. Well, all right. Okay, we're going to win. We're going to do another one of Peggy's big hits from 1958 from the album Things Are Swingin', and they certainly were. We're going to do a tune that Joe Williams had a big hit on too, All Right, Okay, You Win, kind of a bluesy number. And one thing I like to mention is, one thing that I really respect about Peggy Lee is that she kind of incorporated as time went on, you know, her recording career spanned almost 5 decades, and she always kind of kept current. She did bluesy kind of material, she did folk music, rock music of the day. I mean, she kind of always was on the cutting edge, found the hippest songs of the era to always latch on to. So this one, and kind of rode that line between being commercially successful and also doing things with a lot of artistic merit. So this is a tune kind of like that, kind of like a pop hit that she had, All Right, Okay, You Win. And on one of Bobby's bootlegs that he gave me, she did this one. Yeah. So she was doing it after she recorded it, she did it the rest of her life. Well, all right, okay, you win. I'm in love with you. Well, all right, okay, you win, baby. What can I do? I'll do anything you say. It has just got to be that way. Well, all right, okay, you win, baby. I'm in love with you. Well, all right. Okay, you win, baby. What can I do? Anything you say, I'll do. Just as long as it's me and you. All that I am asking, all I want from you is just love me like I love you, and it won't be hard to do. Well, alright, well, okay. You win, baby, I'm in love with you. Well, alright, okay. You win, baby, what can I do? I'll do anything you say. It has just got to be that way. Sweet baby, take me by the hand. you so much. Once again, we'd like to thank you so much for coming out. Andy Brown on the guitar. Bobby Lewis on the trumpet.
How about it for Petra? Miss Petra V.
Petra V. Miss Petra V to you. We're going to leave you with a couple more factoids. I just want you all to know that Peggy Lee wrote a Broadway show about her life. Right around the time Bobby was working with her, a whole show about her life. Unfortunately, there were some weird mix-ups with promotion and whatnot, and it closed very quickly, but I wish I could have seen that. And she was also just, I mean, when you look back at all, there's some interesting things online. A man, Ivan Santiago, has written this incredible discography of everything she ever recorded commercially and every radio show she was on, every television show she was on. I do not know how she did all these things, wrote all these songs, did all these performances. She was also a painter. She was a poet. I mean, I read in an interview, she said she only slept about 4 hours a night. So maybe that explains it, but I don't know. I've tried sleeping 4 hours a night. I didn't do all those things, so. We'd like to leave you with a song that she co-wrote, and this is a gorgeous tune, very touching. It's kind of like a salute and a, what is this called? A cheers, a toast, there we go. A toast in many different languages. Bobby used to play this with her all the time. He said she closed off shows either with I'll Be Seeing You or with this tune, which is called Here's to You. You call it. Yeah, you got it. I wish I had a wine glass, but I'll do it with a teacup. Your help, my friend, and here's to you. Chin chin, my friend, and in skull too. A votre sante, all life through, and vaya con Dios, God go with you. Good times, my friend. Shalom, shalom. Bless your family and bless your home. Tiempo, dinero y amor, my friend. Here's to you. Good times, my friend. Shalom, shalom. Bless your family and bless your home. Tiempo, dinero y amor. Ciao, pace, viva. Salud, Nostrovia, Prosit, L'chaim, Slanche, Yasu, Kanpai, Kongifachoy. and angels on your pillow. My friend, here's to you. Thank you.
Petra Van Nuis, Andy Brown, and the great Bobby Lewis. Thank you so much, you guys, and thanks to all of you for sticking around for and supporting live music here at Evanston. It means so much. This was the sweetest night ever, and very moving. I didn't know that she was so multilingual. It really was a treat and such a thrill to have Petra and Andy here. They've been friends of mine, dear friends of mine for a long time, and such a great night to come here, have them come here and do something that means so much to them, and especially to bring the great Bobby Lewis and to have that be part of our evening. Thanks to Bobby. Yeah. So thank you, and please do remember us. Remember, take those cards and come back. We do have something a little bit different every week. Jazz is a big boat. Something is different every week. Sign up for our newsletter if you like, and you'll get just one notice every week letting you know who's here and with something to click on so you can hear a sample. Thanks so much, folks. Have a great night, and carry this one with you. This is a good one.
Oh, wait. I gotta be back first. All right. You guys look awesome. All right.
Got it?
I think so. You okay, cool. Honey fachoy. Honey fachoy. It's like Chino's child. Did it work? Oh, that's so cute.
Thank you. I enjoyed you guys.
Thanks so much.
Good. Excellent. Bless you.
Honey fachoy.
Bobby.
Honey fachoy.
As always.
Maybe I come here with my group.
Yeah.
Bobby in the middle. Bobby in the middle.
No, you.
I'm in the middle. You're all in the middle. What about Bobby?
Johnny guitar.
Say,
I got one for you.
Bobby.
I'll send you all of these too.
Hold on, can we get one with Steve as well? Okay, wait, now, they're all looking their front there, now center,
Siempre dinero.
then stay
Honey fachoy. Honey fachoy. Oh, one more. Honey fachoy.